Hi, welcome. Today I'm delighted to be speaking with, I'm going to try to pronounce this correctly, Giovanni Gargiulo.
Very good.
I did very good, yay, from ArgusNFT, and he's here with me on the Blockleaders podcast, and we're delighted to have him and discuss his project because it sounds really interesting, and I want to learn more about you and what you're doing with NFTs and also where you came from. So if you could just give us a little bit of insights into how you ended up where you are today, so your origin story, please.
Of course. So thank you very much, first of all, Lisa, for inviting me to speak on the podcast. So my name is Giovanni Gargiulo. I'm Italian, obviously. I've been studying in Italy, and then about 14 years ago, I came to Ireland, where I became a software engineer. I've been working in tech since. My last experience, about 6 years, is in e-commerce and machine learning. That's a little bit relevant to the conversation we're going to have. So this machine learning background is that's where I've been working basically for the past few years, until I started to be very passionate about Cardano, and I found an opportunity to start my own project that is, in fact, ArgusNFT. That obviously is around NFTs and leverages machine learning technologies to find fake NFTs. And I started to work on this about 1 year ago, and 6 months ago with another guy, I co-founded the company that is now up and running, and we already have a couple of customers. So that's a little bit of, in summary, what's happened in the past few years.
I'm so excited. Excuse me. I'm so excited for you because I love to see that you already had experience on the other side, because I also have experience on the other side in communications, and like transferring those skills into Web3 is where really, you can really shine. So just in terms of Cardano, how did you stumble upon them? You say you got involved in them, and how did you just start to learn about them, let's say?
So I came across Cardano pretty much at the very beginning. It was 2017 when the company was founded and they launched the blockchain. One of the things that I was really passionate about when they launched was the scientific approach. So they've been written to date about 150 technical papers, and they went from like the very beginning of what is a blockchain definition, scientific definitions, about basically the core concept of this industry that is really fascinating. And then over the years, they've been trying to write up technical papers that have been shared and obviously discussed and accepted by the community. And this really gave me the confidence of a project that is built to last, that has very solid foundations, that has obviously extremely good principles. Charles Hoskinson, that is one of the co-founders, is also obviously, as everybody knows, one of the co-founders of Ethereum as well. There is a long story about how he left, whether it was a good or bad. I will leave it for another day. But so all those things blended together really gave me confidence about Cardano. Fast forward 3 years when things really started to heat up. So they launched the decentralization protocol, Shelley era, all these kind of things. I went crazy and I was like, I really want to know everything inside out about this blockchain. So that's when I started to really get my hands dirty with Cardano. Since then, I've become a node validator. So I have also my own stake pool. So I actively participate into the consensus protocol of Cardano. And then obviously after a year and a half, I decided to start my journey as an entrepreneur on Cardano.
Oh, even more exciting. I feel like I need to do my own nodes, get my own thing going on here. And tell us a little bit about you're from what I'm hearing, you're very on the technical side and you're really interested in the scientific foundations and that trust that you've built up at Cardano. Tell us a little bit about your co-founder, because they're important.
So on the complete different spectrum, there is Anthony, that is co-founder, and I hope he's listening to us soon. And he works in real estate, so completely different from what we're doing actually. But he's an incredible writer and he's very smart, intelligent person. So he's helping me out with all the operational stuff around Argus. So he's been writing up, for instance, so-called the catalyst proposals that he's basically an approach that Cardano has to fund projects. So we got a couple of grants that has been leading into the write-up discussion of these proposals. So it's been helping me on everything else that is non-technical about Argus NFT. He's from the United States, and he's really, really clever. So together we decided to move forward, and we are sharing the load in building this company that is now formed by, I think, 4.5 people. So there is myself, there is Anthony, then there is a lead front-end engineer, lead back-end engineer, and then a couple of consultants that are my former advisors, a couple of former colleagues that are helping us with some specific technical stuff around machine learning in particular.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. It sounds like you complement each other a lot, and I love that, the technical and the commercial side. You know,
Exactly,
the operations, the commercial element. That's really where you see teams shine, where they bring different things to the table. So tell us, now we'll get into the nitty and gritty. Tell us, what is Argus NFT and what is the mission? What is the objective of your technology?
Absolutely. Like when I give the definition of Argus NFT, is really a mouthful, but then I'll break it down. So we call Argus NFT an AI-powered NFT fake detection platform. What really is an automated system that basically has eyes on currently a couple of blockchains, but we aim in the future to be as many blockchains as possible. And we basically scan for all the NFTs, and we see which one was minted first, which one was minted after, and if there are copies, we highlight what the copies are, so that we can flag them and protect communities on different blockchains from buying fake assets or fake NFTs. So that's what we're doing, and the mission is around giving back credibility to the NFT industry, because for who is inside and knows how to create, trade, and collect NFTs, everything is fine. But there are lots of people that are afraid to get into this world because they're afraid of scams. That is one recurring word when talking about blockchains, when we're talking about NFTs, and so on and so forth. I'll make a simple example. Everybody knows Bored Ape Yacht Club. I love them. It's an incredible collection. It was born on Ethereum. And then one of the first things that we did recently was to, when we started to integrate Ethereum and Argus NFT on Cardano, we found out, let's count how many copies of Bored Ape there are. And we counted more than 140 copies. So this is obviously bad for the creators of the Bored Ape Yacht Club, because this damages their image, right, and their revenue as well. Because if someone ends up buying the fake, they're wasting money. They don't have the original thing, and this is missed revenue for the artist, for the creator. Now, it's not only about these big collections. It's also much about small artists, independent artists, like the one-to-one collections, one-to-one NFT, like as many of us know about, right? So we want help big brands like the Bored Ape brand, but also smaller artists. The one that the draw by hand is not like automatically AI generated, all this type of things. And we have solutions for optimizing the work with the big brands as well as with the smallest brands, with smallest artists. Sorry.
Amazing. And what came to my mind there was, the Antiques Roadshow.
I'm not really familiar with.
Okay, I'll tell you. I love antiques and looking at the value of historic objects. So the Antiques Roadshow, people bring, their antiques or something that they think is an antique. They might think it's valuable. It's been in the attic for a few hundred years or whatever. They give it was passed down through generations, and they give it to someone, and then the valuator goes in and says, "Oh, actually, it's not real." Actually, it's not as old as you think it is. It kind of looks old. It has a bit of dust in it, but it's not. So I love the idea of being able to go somewhere or have a tool that will provide that trust and transparency that because it's so connected with blockchain technology from the ground up anyway. I mean, I spoke at a conference last week in London, and it was a women in technology conference, and two very strong opinions after the conference were but you can just copy these. You can just copy these NFTs. You can just, copy and paste, copy and paste. And that was like, there was one side of the audience that was really interested and intrigued and wanted to learn more and wanted to buy their NFTs and create NFTs and stuff. And the other were very skeptical. The other half were very skeptical and and it was mostly concerned with the scam. So if we're going to prolong the value of NFTs, I think you're doing something very worthwhile, and something that needs to be a part of the ecosystem.
We hope so. In fact, in the last 4 or 5 months, we actually came across 2 really huge companies that are actually developing something similar, but they started on different blockchains. I actually can't remember the name of our biggest Optic. That's it, Optic XYZ, I think it's called. And they pretty much started as us, but obviously they were in the dark. They never mentioned their name around because we've been doing a lot of due diligence when we started to embark this journey in March. And back in those days, there were only other smaller competitors that I don't think had a strong technology background as ours. So that's the reason why we started back in March. But Optic and then another company that one definitely I can't remember the name. They started to build something very similar to ours. We believe to have something very important around the digital identity as well that we want to integrate in our platform that will give us this edge in possibly succeeding in a better way than those other companies. But going back to what you're saying, yeah, absolutely. Lots of people, they know about, it's very easy to copy and paste the NFTs, but it is also very simple to find the copies. Mm-hmm. So when we started to work on Argus, we were thinking, what is the best? So at the moment, people, they must know what Argus is when they are trading their NFTs and creating their NFTs, right? Because they need to know a little bit. We had in mind that this Argus should just basically be there and protect the people without them knowing. Mm. This is the reason why we go with the marketplaces first, because that's the quickest way to have the largest impact on the market. In fact, JPEG Store, that is currently the largest marketplace on Cardano, when we show them the product, they were just like, oh my God, this is unreal. Like we don't have to do anything and this thing just works for us. So basically how they decided to integrate, because obviously if any marketplace is listening to us today, we offer multiple ways of integrating Argus into your platform, and you can integrate Argus at any point of the purchase experience, right? It can be at listing time, it can be at purchase time, or anywhere in this process. So JPEG Store and Blake, that again is a great guy, says we are pretty liberal, so we don't want to prevent anyone from listing their NFTs on our platform. If it is a fake, it's a fake. But at the moment we click the buy button, and then we want to run the check. And then if ArgusNFT says this could potentially be a fake, we show a warning that says we are using a third-party provider called ArgusNFT, yada, yada, yada. So all these legalese. And we think that this could be a fake. So we invite you to do further due diligence. But if you like the thing and you still want to go ahead and purchase, just press the buy button, enter your spending password, and you will go ahead. So that's the way we want to do it. So we want to just like try to get into the NFT ecosystem in the smoothest way, in the less intrusive way, so that we can provide this automatic protection without people knowing, and at the same time, without interfering too much with user experience, because obviously we want to keep and work with our customers in the smoothest possible way without being too intrusive, but at the same time being effective.
That's really clever, and I love that idea as well. Is that you're kind of helping the user a little bit by identifying or flagging it, by just flagging it and saying, okay, well, there's a little bit of a warning here, have another look at it. I love that. With the clients that you have, so currently it's mostly marketplaces, and then what I'm thinking of now is the NFT collections like Bored Ape Yacht Club, or I came across another one, Martian Football League, MPL. It was really beautiful website the other day with a really lovely collection. Can you integrate your NFT detection software into a website itself, like a collection?
Yes, absolutely. It's because we work with the identifiers of the NFT. So whether you are on a marketplace or a private website or whatever, as long as obviously the identifier of the NFT and the blockchain on which this NFT is being deployed, we can run our system. Obviously, at the moment, it's only Cardano and Ethereum, but these are basically the two, we call them a primary key to index and identify an NFT. So, sorry, go on.
No, I'm just saying, I completely understand that. So you can basically use it across all one-of-one collections as well, and
absolutely, yeah, absolutely. So individual artists, actually, now that you're asking about this, artists that are creating one-on-one collections, we will be releasing a pilot program always on Cardano. We really hope for Christmas, but it could slip until the beginning of 2023. It's called Aegis. Both names come from Greek. Argus is a superhuman with multiple eyes. So we use this concept because we want to have eyes everywhere. While Aegis means shield in Greek. So it's a protection, it's a shield. To protect collectors, traders, and obviously creators. So what can happen is that I've heard so many times small creators really extremely talented. And it's like, I didn't want to sell this thing on blockchains as NFTs because I didn't trust this thing. I didn't trust the concept, so on and so forth. And then they found out that someone else has stolen the art and sell them. And they were just like, so I lost my opportunity and now my credibility as well, so on and so forth. So what we're doing is to create a platform where creators can come and can basically register their creations. So without whether they want to mint them as the NFT on any of the blockchain, or if they want just to protect their own creation, they say, this is my stuff. So we keep track of all those things, and we start to keep an eye on all the blockchains if any of these art is going to be minted afterwards, so it's going to get stolen. And in case it is, we contact the marketplace directly and say, take these things down. So a few months ago, we found out that obviously OpenSea, that is largest NFT marketplace on Ethereum and on any blockchain, they have a so-called takedown API. So we can implement an automated process whereby, assuming a small creator register their arts and say, please protect me for a small fee against if they get stolen, and we automatically detect for this thing. And if you detect a fake NFT, we go on OpenSea and say, hey, this thing belongs to XYZ. Would you mind to take that thing down? And this is going to be completely automated, so people that don't have to go and chase those guys, customer support, so on and so forth. We will do this automatically straight away for them.
I love that idea, and I'm going to ask you about the cost in a minute. But the idea for me, where I see this really matters, is I'm talking to a lot of artists that haven't got into the NFT space, and I'm trying to encourage them to experiment with it, and these be established artists that have agents in Web 2, and that don't feel they need even the web. They sell physical art through museums and true curators. So what I see from what you were saying is that's a really good use case for that in terms of artists in the real world. So physical artists that are interested in getting involved in NFTs, but are just a bit wary or a bit aware of their physical art being so valuable. So there's like two artists that I have in my mind that I've spoken with. And although they're curious about NFTs, they would be reluctant about diving into the world of NFTs without some kind of reassurance that their artwork isn't going to be copied or, sent in different directions and copied numerous times. And, then, as you said, they lose their credibility. So how does Argus NFT technology, it helps artists and creators keep that credibility, right?
Absolutely. And obviously ensuring that their collections and their art are not going to be stolen, because there is definitely always a lot of work that goes behind the scene. And we want to help those creators to feel comfortable and to trade and create safely. Obviously, at the beginning, there is going to be a little bit of friction because it's a new product. You will have to learn new things, new mechanisms. But we have ongoing conversation with a couple of marketplaces where we want to try to make the Argus integration as seamless as possible. So if you're a creator and you're working with the marketplace, you just list your creation there, and then you just check a couple of tick boxes and say, please protect those creations also on other blockchains. So it's going to take time to have something as smooth as this one. But with the time, we will work with other players within the community and within the industry to ensure that creators and collectors as well are protected. Like I've seen numerous times when like the first person pops into my mind is Justin Bieber that bought I don't know how many thousands of dollars worth of Bored Ape Yacht Club. Now, never mind that Bored Ape like lost value over time because of bear markets, so on and so forth. But he bought something for several $100,000, right? And it would be such a shame if someone would start to copy this thing and sell it, so on and so forth. So as a collector, I also want to be sure that first of all, I'm buying something that is original and that no one else is making non-legitimate copy, because it's also affecting the actual value of my collections, right? And if we project fast forward in a couple of years into the metaverse, I was at this Galway event a couple of months ago in August, where there was a guy into his own metaverse, and there was like a soundtrack playing, and that's one soundtrack he bought, and then there were like there was this room, this house full of collections and JPEGs, pictures, creations. It was saying, this is my own little museum. So you do want to protect those things because you don't want them to lose in value. But at the same time, you also want to ensure that those collectors are buying the original and not something that has been stolen. So we are looking many months, if not years down the line, but the objective is to ensure that the IP is respected, is not stolen, and that the correct rights are applied to those things as well, because obviously then we go into the reproduction, partial or entire reproduction of those creations, if they're allowed or not. So we can start to complicate this thing. Another thing is I love music. And back in the days, I used to listen to those music into a pub or something. I was like, I really like this song. I didn't know the name. So there was this app called Shazam. And then I was just like, this is incredible. From 5 seconds of the song, I can find the name. So I've been speaking to my former colleagues, data scientists, like super genius people. Just like, can we find something similar to ensure that there are no copies of audio tracks? Just like, yeah, absolutely. It's the same concept as Shazam. So we are planning to extend also ArgusNFT from art, from creator pictures, into music, into books, into poetry, into everything. So that not only clips, videos, obviously everything can be faked, can be copied. So there are modern machine learning, artificial intelligence technologies that can help. Obviously, we start with JPEGs, with images, with pictures, because that's definitely the largest type of NFTs that have been minted and created. But as soon as we have proved ourselves that we can do this with JPEGs, obviously because it's the largest type of NFTs, then we will start to integrate also other things. Music is going to go insane with NFTs in the next 3-4 years. Like, just remind those words. I'm seeing so much being done around the music industry to make it leaner. There are too many intermediate layers of sharks that are earning on top of the artists. The industry wants to give the power back to the creators, in this case, artists, musicians. And obviously, if you're going to make it easy to produce music, it's going to be extremely easy to cotty and steal music. So there is always, the other, as we say in Italy, like the other edge of the blade, right? Like your other advantage, but then you get caught on the other side. So we need to provide those mechanisms and to ensure that whoever is creating something also gets protected. And yeah, so that's also like the very, very long vision of Argus.
No, I love it. I mean, you need to have a long vision or a long-term vision that people can aspire to or people can buy into. But I think that what you're doing is brilliant. And I think that you're right with the music. My friend Hipworth, he's a musician and DJ. And he did a collection with a club out in Ibiza, and they did an NFT collection, and it's associated with VIP membership for the club. So it was very, it was like, this was 2 years ago. So it was really utility before utility became a trend. But he's a musician, a DJ, and he's very passionate about music, but he's also a collector. So I think when you get into the world of NFTs or involved in the space, and you start to explore, discover the different types of art, what you would consider art on one marketplace, whether it be 3D art or painting or music or poetry or books or whatever it is. I think there's like, if you start to collect those things, it becomes a bit of you're collecting every format. It's not just like one format. If you're interested in the space and you become a collector, you'll collect multiple different types of formats. So I think it's really clever that you're going to expand out into different types of artwork. I would consider music production certainly an art form, just like
absolutely.
Writing in a way. And when you get to writing, you can come back to myself and Jill because we're like, I need to protect the writers. So yeah, it's really fascinating what you're doing. So in terms of when you're going to look at the world of NFTs in the future, where do you see, like, what are you most excited about for the future of NFTs?
So myself, there is only that amount that I can see into the future. So the biggest amount of inspirations I got it from meetups I've been to. So I mentioned a couple of minutes ago that I was at this Web3 event in Galway, and I was just like blown away about what people are doing. And I think it's going to be. There are going to be NFT. The concept of non-fungible token is super powerful because it is a one-to-one with something that exists in the real world. So and the arts is not the only segment, the only area where NFT could really make a difference. So first of all, let's expand this thing to whatever is intellectual property. So I've been working with inventors, creators, not only like the Archimedes type of thing from the Mickey Mouse book, for children. And NFTs are going to be incredible for that type of thing as well. So whatever that is IP related, NFT has an application for them. Because from there, you can go from fundraising, you can go about microfinance, you can go into selling licenses for the rights of using the invention, right? So this goes into the obviously industry. It can be mechanic, electronic, whatever. So patents, sorry, that's the word I was looking for, patents. That's obviously a segment, an industry, an area where NFT are going to be incredible. And then obviously it will still grow into the artistic world. And the last but not the least, and I'm seeing this growing every single day, is about the DeFi space. And in DeFi, NFTs are used for creating, first of all, fidelization. So if you use like a DeFi platform, you can become like a recurring customer. If you're a recurring customer, you can get benefit from it. So you can get issued NFTs that they give you like the extra bonus or the saving money or the better premium account, or so on and so forth. So that's another area where NFTs are going to be extremely important. And look at this. Just a couple of months ago, there was like a famous DEX on Cardano that they started to issue NFTs for their customers, and not even a day later, fake NFTs got minted, and they actually started to sell them for a little bit less of the price. But these guys made lots of money. Obviously, our system kicked in immediately and started to flag, but not all the marketplace had that type of protection. So unfortunately, a few unaware customers, they bought fake NFTs that wouldn't give you like that 2-3% yield more. And there was one other area that it's going to explode in the next 2-3 years. So also in this, quote me, because I'm pretty sure about this. It is all around the digital identities. This is something that I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, but on Cardano and many other blockchains, there is a huge amount of money that is going into digital identities. So we are talking about like the equivalent of passports, but digitalized into your cell phone in a shape of again digital identities. And some of these can be translated into NFTs as well. So you can have basically, I hope it kind of makes sense to whoever is listening to us, that you can attach an identity or a portion of your identity to an NFT. So you can have like an NFT that says that you're not underage, so you can go and buy a bottle of whiskey. Let's put it this way. It's the simplest example that I can make. But NFTs are gonna see lots of usage also in that area, in that segment. So it's a pretty much 360. It can be NFTs are going to be extremely useful in the future. Not only these pictures that we see everywhere with monkeys and all sorts of animals that are really creative, really nice, but it's only maybe 1% of what really NFTs can do for a modern society.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And the one that gets me all the time, I'm passionate about writing about sustainability. I don't apply it to my life enough. Being sustainable, and recycling everything, to a T. I try my best. But I think really when I think about the fashion industry and how we can not change consumer behavior and enter the metaverse and use digital assets instead of physical produce a little bit more. I think that when that starts to happen and we recognize that we don't need to buy everything we see in the supermarket, that we can, consume online and not do as much damage to the natural environment. I think those types of consumer behaviors are just really interesting. Instead of buying physical fashion and physical clothes, we might buy wearables, which are NFTs in the metaverse. And that's where I see just because I've bought a lot of wearables. If I attend an event in Decentraland or wherever I'm going, I'll buy a wearable, to say, oh, I'm here. So I think that's really it makes me curious about the future. It makes me excited and also kind of interested in learning more about this NFT technology. And I think digital identity, like you said, it's a new thing for me. I'm only starting to research about it, but I think you're on the right track because I was looking at reading about Sybil attacks and Sybil resistance and people trying to, for people that don't understand it, I think it's when someone can multiply themselves online and then attack a blockchain. That's the easiest way of putting it. Okay, that's like a really basic way of putting it. You can put it a lot more sophisticated, but look, that's kind of what I'm reading from it. But it's how we're going to address those issues in the future. And I think having detection tools and detection software and detection hardware that's built into systems like you're doing and like you're building, I think it's really valuable. So it's definitely the type of infrastructure that I think people need to know about and learn about. I'm really, really excited for you. And thank you so much for being with us. If there's anything, can you tell us where we can find more information about ArgusNFT?
So we have a website that contains all our socials, and that is called ArgusNFT.com. So super simple. You can find us there, all the team members. There are our Twitter profiles, LinkedIn profiles, and so on and so forth. There is also a form if you have questions or inquiries. Just file the form, just hit the send button, and this is going to go straight to our inbox, and we'll be more than happy to reply. I am really active on Twitter, so you can find me. You can find the Argus_NFT Twitter profile there, and if you interact with it, you can reach out to me basically straight away. So amazing. These are our socials.
Yeah, so reach out to Giovanni. Any queries about NFTs or any NFT marketplace listening, reach out to Giovanni today. Thank you so much for joining us, and I hope that we can do it again sometime and learn more. Like as you progress your technology.
Fantastic. My pleasure, Lisa. Thank you very much for having me over. Bye.